welcome to another edition of Grow Your Business on BRiN. I'm John Natale. Let's look at the things that we should do on the other hand. So we've just talked about the things that we should stop doing. Let's have a think about the things that we should do now to move towards our goals and do them on a regular basis. The first one is to review. I think it's important every now and then to just stop and have a look back and go, right, what's happened in the last month, 6 months, 12 months? And I think you have to do this through two lenses. The first is a critical lens. And I think this is the one we all feel pretty comfortable with. This is the one we tend to, default to. The critical lens says, well, this is what happened, this is what went wrong, this is what we did, this is what we could do differently. And that's okay. I'm more than happy with that kind of analysis because it's important, because we take the learnings from that process and we apply them. The second lens, though, is what I call the gratitude lens. And that really is to look back and say, well, what went right? What are the things that did go well? If you're struggling a little bit right now, I'm pretty certain that if you look carefully, you'll find things that are good. You'll find things that are adding value. You'll find things that are working well. You'll find things that you worked for that you now have that you should be happy about. The clients you currently have, the assets you currently have, the lifestyle you currently have, you've worked for those and you should be grateful that you have those. So they're the two lenses, a critical lens and a gratitude lens, and then have a look back and see what we need to learn from the last period. The second thing to think about is your why. Now there's a lot of talk about why. You've seen lots of things about finding your why, I'm sure, and tapping into the why, but I think it's really important. What is the thing that drives you? What is the thing that really gets you out of bed in the morning? Yes, I know we want to succeed. I understand we want to build a business. I understand we want to create wealth and lifestyle. I get all that. But what's the real motivator behind that? What really drives you? The picture you're seeing is a pic of me when I was very young. And that's my family. And for me, it was interesting to watch my family and the families around us in terms of how they established themselves in a new country. Okay, in the 50s when they came out here, it was tough. Yeah, as it is now for people, I'm sure, who uproot their lives and move to another country and start again, not having capital, not having the language advantage, not having understanding of the culture and what have you. And so I've watched people work very, very hard all their lives to build a life for themselves. And along the way, not really made some of the decisions that would have helped them get to where they want to go and really get to a point where they could live a life that's fulfilling and fun along the way. So, decisions around investing, decisions around businesses and getting involved in businesses and the types of businesses to get involved in, and just being able to have a plan for a financial future. This often wasn't a big part of the thinking in this generation. It was more about work hard, pay the bills, own your home, which is not a bad goal, but unfortunately, when you reach your 60s and you're now looking for a little more lifestyle, you don't want to work as hard perhaps as you have for the last 20 or 30 or 40 years, many of the people of that time didn't really have a plan for what that would look like. And so one of the things that drives us, me and my team, is to actually help people make those decisions to create the lifestyle at some point that will really help them live a much more fulfilled and a much more happy and enjoyable life down the track. So that's part of my why. It's part of why I do what I do. Tapping into yours is really important. What is it that really is deep within you that is important to you, that drives you, and that makes what you do make sense? Not just for the job and the dollars and the time and paying the bills, but for something bigger than that. So I really encourage you to have a think about what your why is and what that looks like and where it takes you. A really important driver. Okay, have a plan. It's really interesting. I often say to people, you need to have a plan. In fact, I was asked recently, doesn't everybody have a plan? The short answer is no. Not when it comes to things like my business. They may have a business plan, but they don't really have a plan in terms of where the business is going to take them. My life, interestingly, most people spend more time planning their last holiday than they do planning their entire financial future, for instance. So having a plan for wealth creation, creating security, building assets, building cash flow, being tax effective, all of those things, have a plan and get some advice. Don't just think you can do the whole thing yourself. Very few people I know who've been very successful have made that journey alone. Very few. Most have advisors, most have got guidance from people. They've really had some help to get there, and they tap into that expertise to help them make better decisions. So have a plan, get some advice, and then move forward. Next thing to do, take some CEO time, as I call it, and the CEO is you, the CEO of your life, okay? Every now and then it's good to just unplug. It's good to just spend some time away. I don't know what works for you. Sit by the beach. I like to take a notebook and a pen, and no phone and no laptop and no tech of any kind, and just go sit somewhere with a coffee and doodle for a while and scribble some stuff and think about things and see where I'm heading and all that sort of stuff. That works for me. Whatever it is for you that allows you to just get out of the normal day-to-day stuff for a little while and have a think about where you are, and maybe do some of the things we've talked about here in terms of the thought processes around these key areas. Spend some time doing that and just unplug for a while. You'll find that you think more clearly. You'll find that ideas pop up in that process that wouldn't really appear on a normal day. So being able to unplug and just get in there and really think about, where am I at and what do I want to do is really important. All right, so the next one, get some mentors. I know we've all heard about mentors. We've heard about people who have mentors. It doesn't have to be a formal thing. It doesn't have to be something where you engage somebody's services. Find people who are doing what you want to do. Find people who have achieved the goals that you want to achieve, and go and talk to them. You'll be amazed at how many people will say yes when you ask for guidance. Whatever industry you're in, whatever goal that is you've set for yourself, if you can identify a couple of people who are very successful in that space, and approach them and say, hey, look, I'm in a similar space to you. I would love to be able to get some guidance. I'd love for you to be able to give me some input. Would that be possible? Could I come and have a chat to you for 10 minutes or 15 minutes? You'll be amazed at how many people say yes. In my experience, even direct competitors can be great mentors. You can form friendships with your competitors and learn a lot from each other in terms of what they're doing, what's working for them, what's not working for them. And in effect, build the market, and there's more for everybody. So have a think about who the successful people are in your space, and go and approach them. I know that they probably seem up here, and you're down here. Don't let that bother you. Everybody started here, okay? So they've been on the journey. They've learnt some things. They've made the mistakes. People say it's good to learn from your mistakes. It's also good to learn from other people's mistakes, so you don't have to make the same ones. Okay, so go and find those people who are successful, approach them, get in touch, say hello, get a meeting set up, and go and have a chat. And I'm sure you'll learn heaps from those people, and they're usually very willing and very happy to share that experience with you. All right. And the last thing, and I touched on this earlier, is be thankful, be grateful. One of the things that we do not enough of, I think, is just give a little bit of gratitude for the things that we have. I'm fortunate in that I get to travel around the world and I get to speak in different countries and what have you. And I've just done a tour of parts of Asia, and it really makes you realise, how good we may have it in the places that we live and the lives that we've been able to build for ourselves. So be thankful, be grateful for the things that we have. Keep striving for sure. Don't misunderstand me. If you're completely happy and you're comfortable and you don't want to stretch, that's fine. I understand that, and that's perfectly acceptable. If you want more, of course, strive, stretch. Go for the goals, but also don't forget to be grateful for the things we already have, and have a bucket list. Okay, there's lots of talk about bucket lists. There are a couple of people who just talk about building your bucket list and making sure that you actually go out and achieve some of these things in your life. I think it's really important to do some things that just are fun, just things that we wanted to do at some point that we probably thought were impossible. I can share a little story with you here. In my early 20s with a friend, we sat down and wrote a bucket list. Which was really a career bucket list in lots of ways. There were lots of things we wanted to achieve, and things that at the time we thought were completely unrealistic and impossible. But we wrote them down, and we got to work and we started doing some things. And of course we got distracted and went in different directions and then lost contact and what have you. But interestingly, I happened to find that piece of paper, probably 25 years later, and everything that was on that list I've ticked off, which is pretty cool when you think about it. I don't think that's a coincidence. I don't think that happened just because. I think when you write things down and you set big goals for yourself, it programs your subconscious in ways that I don't understand to actually then direct you to achieving those goals, to bringing those things into your life and to making the connections you need and making them happen. So I really encourage you to create that list. They can be fun things, they can be adventure things, they can be work related, they can be anything you like. But whatever they are for you, get the list down and let it sink into your subconscious and then get to work. And I'm sure that in 10 years' time you'll be able to look back as I did and cross some of those off. So to wrap up, here's the final thing. All of these tips, all of these ideas are all useful. However, if we don't pursue them, if we're not consistent, if we're not persistent, we're unlikely to achieve the things we want to achieve. This is one of my favourite quotes from Babe Ruth, who said, "It's hard to beat a person who never gives up." And if you don't give up, it's pretty hard to get beaten. You can continue to strive, you can continue to improve, and you can continue to move towards your goals. And along the journey, I wish you every success. So thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you'd like more information on me or any of the experts on BRiN, you can visit brin.ai/experts and take advantage of all the information that's there. Until we see you again, remember, life is for living.